what you're trying to sell us is that it's good that innocent women were spared, but also good that innocent women were killed. So how does that work?
I don't believe death inherently is a bad thing.
Okay, then why have any rules at all?
Because we make like be more specific, like us or from God specifically.
Why follow any of God's rules?
Yeah. So you can eternally come with God.
So I think that, and even the people that wrote the Old Testament, I think, would think that the reason you have rules is because if you're going to have a complex society, you have to have rules or you have a dysfunctional society. Now, we think that their rules were terrible, and you think probably some of their rules were terrible, but that's the justification. But at the end of the day, when it looks like there's a contradiction, or at least it's sort of like more like there's no moral logic here because innocent people are being put to death, you are telling us it doesn't matter that they were put to death because they're born as sinners, death isn't the worst thing ever, etc. So this is obliterating even the point of having any moral law. So my question remains, why?
Yeah, because again, this wasn't meant as a universal moral law. Like a scholar John D. Walton notes that these laws haven't exactly been enacted, but were treaties on judicial wisdom, and it left. And we see another scholar. I don't know off the top of my head.
It doesn't matter. I don't actually care, even if the law was only supposed to be followed on Tuesday, and that was it. That doesn't address the point of why on earth are they even given at all?
Yeah, because they're trying to help. Because God is trying to help horrible people to become slightly better people. To
how is killing innocent people do that? Again, you're giving like a normative framework, but this doesn't accomplish that.
No. This is within like Middle Eastern laws. This would be upon the court also, or the people that would judge. So this is not only upon the law they are following. This is also be upon whoever would be the ruler or the like the father, for example. It would be upon the fathers. Some cases would be upon the fathers to choose this.
Wally, was there ever a time in history, and I mean ever, when it was good to stone innocent people for crimes that they did not commit?
I mean, like, not if you know they're innocent.
Okay. And we know a percentage of these women did not commit the crime.
Yeah.
Okay. Which means there was never a time in which it was good to stone these women for crimes we know they didn't commit.
Yeah, we know that. They didn't know that.
Okay. God didn't know that because God gave this word.
I don't believe all of the Mosaic laws given by God.
Okay, so when the book says that God gave the laws, how do we know which ones he actually gave?
Like exactly all of them, we wouldn't be able to tell, but we see the laws were able to be negotiated.
We wouldn't be able to tell. How so we have no way of knowing what in this book is from God and what's not from God? Didn't you just tell me that these laws were given as a concession?
Yeah, it was given as a concession. Yeah, the specific, like, you're talking about specifically all 613, 14 laws, all of them specifically, no. But if you're referencing this law specifically, then yes, I'll be able to tell that Moses gave this.
So was this law given by God?
No.
Okay, so the Bible lied.
How does the Bible lie?
Because it says that all these laws came from God.
Yeah, like that's vague. Like, we see...
It's not vague. Moses says that these laws came from God. He gave a whole list of laws in Deuteronomy and said like 5 times that these are the commandments of God. We already read one of the passages. So if he didn't give this commandment, then he didn't give any of the commandments in Deuteronomy.
No, wait, that's a fallacy of composition. Again, Moses is reiterating this law. The Deuteronomy means second law. This was after the 40-year...
I'm aware. Yes, it's Greek. Deutero means second, and nomos is Greek for law. So Deuteronomy means the second telling of a law, because he's giving them laws a second time right before they enter into the promised land. So that doesn't mean anything. The question is whether or not this event actually happened and whether or not it was recorded.
We cannot tell if this event actually happened.
So we don't know if anything in Deuteronomy is real.
like the event of the laws actually taking in place. Yeah, no.
But Jesus kind of thought they were real. Jesus referred to the laws of Moses without making any differentiation between Deuteronomy and Leviticus and anything else, or Exodus.
I mean that's fine.
Okay. So according to Jesus, we should follow the law anyways, even if it's not from Moses.
No, he came and fulfilled the law.
Jesus didn't say that.
He did fulfill it. Matthew 5:17.
I love that you brought up Matthew 5. They always bring up Matthew 5, and they have no idea they're going to get cooked with it. In Matthew chapter 5, he says, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish, but to fulfill." We'll start out really easy. What does abolish mean?
Abolish means to throw away.
It means to get rid of, to go away with something, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Is Jesus saying that he did not come to get rid of the law then?
Yeah, he didn't get rid of the law.
Okay. So if Jesus didn't get rid of the law, then it doesn't matter if you think he fulfilled it. His goal wasn't to get rid of it. That's why he says in verse 19, "Therefore, whoever breaks one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever does them and teaches them will be called great in the kingdom of heaven." So you didn't help yourself here.
Wait, no, we see multiple times in scripture that we're no longer under the law.
Paul says that. Jesus never said that. Jesus said it is easier for heaven and earth passed away than one letter to drop away from the law. That's in Luke chapter 16, and it's also in the chapter we just read.
Yeah, we take Paul as scripture.
Yeah, but Paul contradicts Jesus. That's my point.
I disagree, but that's a whole nother topic.
We just read it.
Wally,
Yeah. Wait, Paul doesn't say that it is abolished. He's saying we're not under it.
That means you're no longer liable to the law.
Yeah, wait.
It's the same thing.
Wait, how is that like the same thing?
Wally, are you
the
saying
law
that
code going?
it would be okay if people that live in Israel and are Jews still continued doing these things today?
Oh, wait, say that again. You said people in Israel or Jews still did what today?
Do you think that in the nation of Israel, if these Deuteronomic or whatever, how you'd say that, laws existed, do you think that they should exist and that it would be okay if they did exist to this day?
To this day, no, because that would defeat the purpose of the law.
The law doesn't state that it has a purpose other than to make people holy.
No, wait. Yeah, no. We see it was meant for people with hardened hearts. Jesus pointed this out when a Pharisee went and asked them, "Why are you so against divorce?" when Moses allowed it, and then he says, "It's because your hearts were hardened."
Okay, so you're going to apply what Jesus did in Matthew to every law. Then you're saying, do you actually know why Jesus said this? By the way,
He was talking with Pharisees, and they
you don't know why he said it. Jesus was taking advantage of a contradiction in the text because in the book of Malachi, God says, "I hate divorce," which is very interesting because in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 24, God's cool with divorce. So he's taking advantage of this contradiction and saying, well, it wasn't God's initial intention for divorce to be a thing, but he allowed you to do it for a hardness of your hearts. Now, what you're suggesting is that all the laws of God are like that then. Every single law that God ever gave, he only gave it because the hardness of mankind's heart. And if that's the case, and we don't have to follow any of the laws anymore, then that's great. I'm going to commit adultery. I'm going to go out and make sure that, let's see, I'll never stone somebody for picking up sticks. That's for sure. I mean, if I don't have to follow the laws, I guess I can have slaves again. I mean, you name it.
I'm going to covet so hard.
Oh my God, I'm coveting right now.
Yeah, again, like I said, there's moral, civil, and ceremonial law. Of course, you haven't done away with the moral law. That's why it's universal, and the other.
Well, how do you know that the moral law is universal and the other ones aren't?
What do you mean? How do I know? What? Because it states it.
Which ones are the moral ones? They never have an answer to this.
Because we were just talking about adultery, and he didn't like that at all. I thought that was part of the moral law. So show me in the Bible where it says only the ceremonial laws are going to go away.
Well, I said ceremonial and civil.
Yeah, sure. Show me where that's at.
Again, like if you want a specific one verse, I wouldn't be able to give that to you. But using context, and we see what
Doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean, like Yeah, we see multiple times the Mosaic law, especially the civil and ceremonial, where it's seen as morally like universally good. We see this in First Samuel 8, Numbers 27, and Matthew 19:8. That's the ones I can name off the top of my head.